All right, welcome back, everyone. This is Ebonie again, a.k.a. Fit Mom Diva of Simplicity Health Style, and today we have Miss Tameka with us. How are you, Tameka?
Hi. Good. How are you?
I am awesome. Thank you so much for taking time on your weekend to talk to
Yes,
us. I really
of
do
course.
appreciate it.
Yes,
We
anytime.
we all appreciate your time, and for those of you
Mhm.
that choose to stick around to the end, you will have an opportunity to earn a complimentary gift for listening to what Miss Tameka wants to share with us today.
Oh,
Oh, Tameka, start us off so we get to know a little bit about you and what motivates you. Share one motivational quote that really inspires you, something that encourages you and gets you going.
well, Maya Angelou, love her. There's a quote that she has that says, if you don't like something, change it. If you can't change it, change your attitude. And that always sticks with me because I think in life we get down, say we don't like our jobs and we get discouraged and we start complaining about our jobs and we try to apply for other jobs, try to look for other opportunities, and then if it doesn't go our way, we start to complain. And I've just learned that complaining gets us nowhere,
Yeah,
and we have to have a positive attitude when we're trying to go into a new opportunity. So we have to change our attitude. A lot of times we go into work with an attitude, and you negative vibes can jump on other people. Then the whole department's mad at you and you're mad at them because you're not happy with your job. So I
right.
feel like we have to change our attitudes. And then in the end, it'll work out. It always works out. And I believe that, God always has something for us, if we desire it, something better. So we have to change our attitude and just appreciate where we are. Some people don't even have jobs. So
Yeah,
if you don't like your job, at least be thankful that you have a job right now. You could be that person that is unemployed right now. So I feel like if you don't like something, try to change it. If you can't change it, then change your attitude for the moment. And then you just, hope and pray that everything works out for the best and that something great or better will come along. So that's kind of always what gets me going. It speaks to my personal experience. That's why I brought the job, because right now I'm not I'm I'm looking for something different, to kind of, challenge my skill set. I feel like in my current position, I feel like there's some things that I feel like I've kind of reached the ceiling, and that I feel like there's more out there. And so I've been there. I've complained like, oh, why am I still here? But I have to realize that there's a reason why I'm here. There's a purpose why I'm here. Don't complain. Be content right now, but keep looking, see what else is out there, and then in the end, it'll work out. So I gotta have a positive attitude.
yeah. And I think that, there are always going to be things that come up in our life that we're not
Hmm.
excited about, or where we don't
Exactly.
want to necessarily be in that moment.
Exactly.
But at the same time, it's like you could be experiencing something a whole lot worse. So
Exactly.
sometimes looking at the positive in the situation
Ex-
is
mhm.
helpful when
Mhm.
complaining about it is not going to change it.
It's not going to change. You're going to still be there complaining and complaining. Worry and stress. It's not good for your health.
Right,
And we want you to be healthy to go into the next new opportunity. So I
right.
just feel like changing our attitude and just being positive about the situation, even though it's easier said than done at times. But just try to positive talk. Try to encourage yourself. When you're going through it, and again, we just hope it works out. We got to be positive.
Yes, thank you so much for
Yeah.
sharing that, because you're exactly right. It can be very difficult at times, but
Mhm.
I think that is difficult sometimes because you're not looking for the positive. You're looking for
Right.
the
You look at the
negative. So
negative. Right.
of
Yes.
course you're gonna be down and out because that's
Yeah.
what you're looking for. You are focusing on the
Exactly.
negative
Because
and
you're trying to get out. So let me just find all the negative so it can
right,
justify me saying, I got to leave. This is not working out for me. But try to, again, and when you're there, just try to find the positive, and then
right.
it would make, because look, you turn around, you're 34 years old. I'm like, where did my life go? It just, life goes so fast. And if you're complaining about things, you look up and you're like 60 years old. Like,
Right.
where did my life go? And so we have to remain positive in negative situations. So,
Yeah. And you
yeah.
know what? I've coached older people that say,
Hmm.
man, I wasted all these years
Hmm.
of my life
Yeah.
complaining and griping when I
Yep.
actually could have done something about it.
Exactly.
And for some of them, it's not like, they didn't try at times
Hmm.
to get out of that situation that they were in, but they didn't do it they didn't try it long enough. They didn't try
Long
for the
enough.
long haul.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they applied for jobs and maybe they didn't get it within, their time period of, I need this within 2 months.
Right.
And
Right.
they got frustrated because they didn't get anything. So they said, well,
Hmm.
forget this. I'll just keep with, this job that I'm at. It's paying pretty well, but I really don't like it.
You don't like
and
it.
then they're older and they're like, man, I have been working in accounting for 25 years. And what I really want to do is be a butcher. Totally different things. I mean, it could be anything, but I'm just using that as an example.
Of course.
But it's always, I would really like to do this, but I've been doing this for 25 years.
So you kind of just give up on your dreams. And like you said, you live one life and it goes by so fast within the blink of an eye. And it's sad if you're unhappy and you try to look for a job and then it doesn't work out and you give up. And you should never give up. I mean, just keep trying, keep persevering, keep trying to make your dreams come true. It's not going to be easy.
Yeah.
But, it's worth it.
And that is so true. I think that just staying with it is what's key, because there are a lot of things in my life that didn't happen overnight the way I wanted it to happen.
Oh yeah.
And I just kept pressing forward, and eventually I saw it happen. So imagine if I had given up. I would have never seen it happen because I gave up.
Right.
So I think that's the right mindset to have as well, that when you try to change the situation and it doesn't happen overnight, there's a reason why it's not happening.
It doesn't happen overnight, right? No.
Yeah, there's a reason. Just stick with it, and then eventually you'll see your goal or your dream to fruition. Can you talk a little bit about that? Talk about a time when you didn't necessarily see the light at the end of the tunnel, and you had to overcome some obstacles, and you didn't really know where you were going and what direction you might be going and how things were going to pan out. But at the end of the day, you were able to see your goal or your dream to fruition.
So there's a situation where I'm going to go back. It was 2013. So I was 29 years old and I'm like, I want to buy a house. I want to be a homeowner. Now it's a challenge, but I'm like, I want to be a homeowner. This is one of my goals that I want to achieve by 30. It said that. And I turned 30 in 2014. So I'm like, let me start in 2013, start looking. I got a realtor. She was really awesome. And so we start looking for homes. My issue is I didn't have a lot of money in my bank account. I didn't have a large savings account. So I'm like, what am I going to do? You got to have a closing cost, down payment, and I'm like, I don't really have enough for both. She said, no, it's okay. We're going to find a house that's pretty cheap. I think during that year, homes where you can get a home for a pretty good price, under $100,000. It was pretty good then. So we're looking and I find a townhouse that I really love. I mean, it was pretty cheap. It was like a 3-bedroom, 2.5-bath townhouse, 1,500 square footage. It was nice. And so I'm like, she's like, let's just try for this one. And also she knew of some down payment assistance programs for the first time home buyers program. So let's try to find out some programs we can get you involved in. I took a first time home buyers class and I completed it online. So while we were in the process of looking for homes. So we find this home, I finished the program. And so everything seems to be going pretty good. I was actually, I finished the class. I got, I think I got a portion. I forgot how much I got, but I got some to go towards down payment. And so I went to the bank and they wouldn't approve me for the loan. And she was like, well, what's going on? And they were like, well, Tameka has student loan debt. And I was like, well, I knew that, but she said your student loan debt's kind of high among other bills. Why don't you pay down some credit cards, pay down some of your car payment? The student loans are not going to go anywhere. Let's just face it. They're not going anywhere. But we can work on the other bills, try to pay the car payment down, the credit cards, and we'll try again for another loan. I think it was an FHA loan. So I paid down some of the credit cards, paid down some of my car payment. We try again to apply for a loan. And she's like, I think it's working. It's looking good. We'll find out in the next couple of days if you're pre-approved for the loan. So everything seems to be going good, according to the realtor and the woman at the bank. So a couple of days go by. I'm getting my hopes up. I'm like, yeah, I think I'm going to get approved for this house to get under contract. Anyway, a couple of days go by and woman from the bank calls and said, Tameka, I'm sorry, we tried, although you paid down your credit cards. And mind you, I was told to pay down my credit card debt, pay down my car payment, it'll probably work out. I did all that. Paid down my credit card debt, paid down my car payment, and still she said, I'm so sorry, because your student loan debt's too high. We can't approve you. And I'm just like, I was so devastated because I'm told what I need to do to probably get approved. I do it, and they tell me, well, no, we can't approve you. I was so devastated. I'm like, this house was perfect. So I thought. And I say that because I'm saying God works in mysterious ways. So I call my landlord. I'm renting a condo at this point. I call my landlord and I'm like, it was actually June of 2013. My lease ended July. So I'm like, can I just sign a 6-month lease? Because I want to go back out there and start looking again. And I want to commit to a whole nother year. He says, well, I don't do 6-month leases. I only do year leases. And so right now I can't honor that. It's either a year or no. I said, well, I guess I'm gonna have to move. Like my mom's like, why don't you come back home and live with us? My mom and my dad. And I'm like, you talking about major setback.
Yeah.
So from having to almost own my first home, then having to move back home, you talk about just being discouraged. And I said, I don't want to do that. She's like, well, it's not a step back. Look at it as it's a setback, but it's not a bad setback. You can save some money, pay off some more debt, and then try it again. I said, okay. It was hard. So I moved back home August of 2013. And let me tell you, I was on social media then. And when you move back home and you open up social media and everybody is buying their homes, getting new jobs, getting new cars, you feel like, what's wrong with me? We've all been there. You start to compare yourself to, well, how come they got all that and I don't have that? And that's what I was going through. So I started to get just real down, about, and again, I was getting negative talk about, well, why me? Just complaining. And so I started to realize maybe there's a reason why this happened. There's a reason why I did not get that house. And I said, maybe God has something better for me. Yeah. So I'm home. Let me tell you, I moved home August 2013 and I stayed more than a year. So I called my realtor in, I think it was July of 2014. I had turned 30 in April. I'm like, Lord, I just turned 30. I told myself I want to own a home by 30. I'm 30 now. So I called her in July and so let's go back out there and try it again. So we applied for the down payment assistance. I was approved for down payment because, they help people who have, I guess, lower income, or if you can't really afford, your first home, they have that for the first time home buyers program. We applied again and I got some funds for that. So now I'm trying to go to the bank to get approved for an actual FHA loan. We go to the bank and let me tell you, this time it was smooth sailing. There was no issues. I go in there with her. We applied for the loan. I was approved, I think, in a couple days. I was like, are you kidding? Approved. So I was approved for the loan. I got my down payment and closing costs. I only had to put down, I think, $2,000 for escrow. That was it. And this townhouse was a better townhouse in a better part of the area. It had better amenities. Let me tell you, when I walked in that townhouse, they had granite countertops, stainless steel appliances. The last house didn't have any of that. So it was almost like an upgrade. And I said, so this is why God closed that door. He's like, no, I got something better for you. And so to me, it's hard to kind of, we don't understand why certain things happen. But then you realize when it does, you're like, oh, now I understand why he closed that door. So the biggest obstacle was that student loan debt. But I tell you what, though, I said, God's like, you know what? Forget the loan debt. I got something better for you. Just keep trying. And to go back to what you said about the job, people give up on their dreams. They stop applying, say, it didn't work out. I'm not going to try it again. You got to keep trying. Because if I did not continue on and say, I'm going to try again to try to buy my house, say, I quit, I wouldn't have got that house.
Right.
I wouldn't have and I would have missed out on a good, and let me tell you, also to add to that same townhouse, when I put the offer in, let me tell you, somebody else put another offer in. They actually took the other person's offer first. They didn't take my offer. Within a few days, they called and said, you know what, the first offer, she dropped out. So now we're going to take your offer. So it was almost like this was actually meant to be. Yeah. So what I learned from that is don't ever give up. It may seem impossible, but if that's what you really, really want to do, you got to keep trying. There's always a way around the mountain. And I learned that, again, just persevering and just keep trying to get to your dreams. It's going to happen. It's going to take some time. It took a whole year and I actually closed September 2014. So from looking from, I thought I had my dream home in June of 2013, June,
Right.
July. I didn't have it till September of 2014, a whole plus year after that. So it's patience, and it's just trying to be positive in a negative situation. So, because I believe it always works out the way it's supposed to.
Yes, and thank you so much for sharing that, because I think for a lot of us, we have situations where it's seeming like it's difficult and it's taking a very long time, and we are like, oh no, everybody else is doing this, this, and this, and particularly when you are on social media. Because people are typically, happy when good things happen to them, so they share it with everybody else.
Exactly.
But if you're not in the right mental space to be able to handle that, it make you feel like, oh well, man, I was expecting to get my house too, and here I am. They're telling me, nope, sorry, student loan was too high, and you thought you did everything in your power to, make something happen. So I think that keeping that in mind, that you are where you're supposed to be and things will happen when they're supposed to happen is
exactly.
Thank you so much.
And you make a good point. You said if you're not in the correct mental space, and I was not, because I was just so down on my luck. I was just so, I'm not going to say depressed, but I was I was just disappointed. And then you get on there, you're like, well, why is it that they can have this, and what about me? And it's like, you cannot compare yourself to, we're all on different paths.
Right.
And I can't compare what's going on in their lives to my life, because we're on a whole different path. And again, in 2014, I was able to get the house I wanted. So I'm on a different path. So it may not happen today, it may happen next year, it may happen in 2 years from now. We don't know, but it's just important to remain positive, and especially when you're down.
Yeah, and all it does, and you mentioned this earlier, is it just affects your health. The more worry and frustration and overwhelm and all that negative emotion that you can hold within you, all it does is impact your health. So you could be one of the cleanest eaters out there, but if you are so focused on, does this person like me? Do I, need to be in this house when all my friends are, but I'm over here at my parents' house? Do I need to be making 6 figures because all my friends are making 6 figures and I'm only making whatever you're making? That negative emotions that you hold within you can be more detrimental.
Oh, absolutely.
The food that sometimes people say that you shouldn't eat.
Stress is dangerous. Stress and worry is dangerous. People don't realize. Yeah.
So talk a little bit about that. Let's talk. This will be our last question. Talk a little bit about the relationship between self-care and you fulfilling your dreams. Because for a lot of us, we work stressful jobs. We have a lot going on, taking care of ourselves or our family members, and we want to have some type of social life. So it's just a lot going on sometimes. And we don't always think to self-reflect. So talk a little bit about maybe some self-care strategies that you have used, and just some techniques or ways of thinking that people can utilize in order to really have the energy and the vitality to carry out their vision or their dreams.
Well, to me, self-care prevents burnout. Yeah. That's number one. We have to have self-care in our lives, because everything in our lives will create burnout. Our jobs, kids, husband, friends, and we have to just kind of take a step back just for ourselves. Some things that I do, I like to go get my nails done, hair done, even going out, hanging out with friends, on the weekend, true friends, not friends that are going to bring negativity. Yeah. You gotta make that clear. But true friends, just even going to a movie, just things that's going to take you away from what's causing that stress. Even binging a series on Netflix. I actually just did that a couple weeks ago. Whatever can take you away from that causes that stress. And I know, my sister, we had a conversation about this a couple days ago, and she said that she likes to actually sit down and write her goals for the upcoming year. And she said that's almost like a self-care, self-development for her. And I'm like, that's actually pretty good idea. It kind of motivates her for the upcoming year. And so I guess writing your goals out kind of just she said it causes her less stress when she has a plan. So that's her self-care method. But for me, again, I just like to, like I said, anything that's going to take me away. I like to actually writing. And even for me, reading scriptures in the Bible. That's self-care for me. Again, whatever's going to bring my stress level down. And even self-development is good too. Self-development to me, learning new skills, learning a foreign language, learning a new computer program if you're into that stuff. So I think self-care, self-development is important in our lives, because without that, you talk about burnout, and stress is not good for our health. You know,
Right.
I work as a counselor in the school system. So for me, I don't like to bring work home, because when you bring work home, which I do, I'm guilty of that, but it causes more stress. And then now it's the stress on my marriage, because I'm bringing this home. Something happened today at work and I'm venting to my husband, but then it caused a toll on our marriage because it's all you talk about. So you have to kind of pull away and do things that, do things that's you're going to enjoy, that's not going to cause stress. So it's simple things. Like I said, just getting out there, taking a walk in the park, working out, anything that's just going to cause you to not to just bring down that stress level.
Yeah, and I think you said something very key, particularly for people that work in the school system, and a lot of teachers will tell me this too, that they have to bring work home sometimes. But what it does is it makes them feel like they never left work.
Right.
And so their family and their whoever they're living with, their significant other, whomever it is, or friends, they see them working. And a lot of times when you're working in a service capacity like that, like counseling or teaching, and you bring that stuff home, you're also bringing those people's issues with you home. So then the issues that you wouldn't have necessarily had, now you have them in your house.
Exactly.
And it started in somebody else's house. So yeah, I think making a very clear distinction between your family and your downtime and your work time can be critical when you see that it's causing a lot of strife in the home. I think that sometimes depending on the nature of the work, you may want to talk about certain things that happen in your job at home. I feel like my work and my life is very much integrated. Like my life is my work. I don't make a very clear distinction between what I do and my life, because it's a part of me. I'm just sharing a part of me and being who I am.
Right.
So I think that you can talk about work when it lights you up, but the problem is that some people don't know how to leave the personal problems that their clients or their students have.
Exactly.
And that is very, very true of a lot of social workers that I've talked to, particularly social workers. Teachers in the public school system, talking about the kids acting up in class and you frustrated now, you bring that into your own household. So I think that anytime that you can take to, bring more life to your world, whether that's gardening or walking or going to the gym, just something separate from your workspace.
From your work, right.
That will produce a whole lot more positivity than not.
Exactly, and so it goes along the lines of time management. Kind of like managing your time. You're at work, and like I said, like with you said that it kind of is intertwined. But sometimes it's not. And it's like you have your job here, then you have your personal life. So you have to know how to manage your time. When you get up at 4 or 5 o'clock, leave it there. Go to the gym for like an hour, then go home, watch a movie, go get your nails done, or, pedicure, manicure, whatever you need to do to kind of just pull away from the stress. And then I'll deal with it tomorrow. I always say, I will deal with it tomorrow. I'm like, it's 5 o'clock, I'm done. I'll deal with it 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, that's awesome that you brought that up. And for those of you that are listening that feel like time management is a challenge for you, I created a whole course on stress reduction. And one of the things that I included in that course is how to prioritize things. There are certain things that are high priority and other things that are not a high priority. And there are things that they will get done the next day, and nobody's going to die if it's not done today. So I think looking at your schedule and saying, these are the things that are have-tos. These are the areas where I'm wasting time, because we can do that and say we don't have time. But we could spend an hour on social media that you could have gone to the gym. If you really
Very true. That's true.
Prioritize it.
Mm-hmm.
So looking at how we waste time and just looking at our priorities and our values, I think that
Mm-hmm.
everything that we really want to do to help improve ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
we will do if it's important to us. If it's not important to you, you're not going to do it. That's
Right.
how we look
You're
at it.
right. Yeah. Yeah. I
Thank you
agree.
so much, Tameka. I appreciate you. And for
Yes.
those of you that are listening and you stuck around to the end, remember I said that you'll have an opportunity to earn a complimentary gift. You'll see my Nutrition for Busy Women Facebook group in the description box, and you'll also see my other contact information in the description box. And if you feel like you are somebody that's struggling with your time, you feel like you're somebody that you really don't even understand what your gifts and your purpose is in this world, and you want more clarity on that, I do provide no charge personality type and gifts assessment. So that way there's no reason why you can't have some focus in on what you can be developing, what your craft can be, and how you can serve this world. I know for some people they say things like, well, I would do X, Y, Z, but I don't even know what to do. I don't even know where to get started. So those assessments will allow you to gain a little bit more focus and know where to get started. Tameka, do you have any last words of encouragement that you want to share with the ladies that are listening?
Just stay positive. Know who your true friends are. Don't keep away from negativity. It doesn't help you in any way. Always encourage yourself, especially in difficult times, and just remain strong in everything that you go through.
Yes, thank you.
It's a test. It's a test. You'll pass it. Just pass the test.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that. And you are so right. You are stronger than what you think most times. You think back to some difficulties that you had earlier this year, last year, 5 years ago, you're still living today and breathing.
Yes, we made it.
Show that you are strong enough to get through whatever it is that you're going through.
Yes.
So thank you. I appreciate you for sharing that. And
you are very welcome.
Any of you listening, if you feel like anything that Tameka shared today resonated with you and you want to collaborate with her, feel free to reach out to her. All her contact info is in the description box as well, and she's open to collaborations. And if you feel like you want to share your own story or your own challenges, your own pitfalls and failures and your own successes to encourage other ladies around the world, please feel free to reach out to me and I'll definitely interview you as well. We can only help each other by opening up our mouths and sharing our experiences, right? So I'm totally welcome to you guys collaborating with me and connecting with us on one of my future episodes. Tameka, thank you again so much. I appreciate it. And for those of you that are listening, wherever you are in the world today, just make sure that you always remember to live a life full of meaning and purpose. I will talk to you soon.